What's up, YouTube? So if you recall, on one of my last videos, one of these recent ones, I had a question: do the Gen 3 mags with extensions fit on a dagger? And we went over that, showed that it does, and I said I'm sure it depends on which extensions you're using. I stand by that. I'm sure it depends on which extensions you're using. And I went ahead and I showed the inexpensive aluminum cheapo, no name extensions that I found on eBay, which I have searched for probably 6 or 7 times since I purchased them, and most recently, maybe a few days ago, uh, because I had made the video, I was like, yeah, let me go and check and see if by any chance they put these back on. I don't see them. Starting to think that I myself am going to have these made out of aluminum, probably very similar to this design. I showed you guys, now I showed it on the dagger, and I did say it also doesn't work on my Glock. So the issue I'm having here is an empty 17, okay? The issue that I'm having is these magazines with the extensions, they will, now you can't see that I'm not holding the slide lock, but now you can see there's my slide lock. They don't lock open, right? So, of course, I put most of the blame on the extension, even though it came with a slightly larger spring. But in all fairness, it's more than likely how filthy these magazines are on the inside. So if you never clean your magazines, it'll happen. It'll get enough carbon buildup in there where, I don't know, I should have done that on camera. And let me see if I can retract this. If I can get this back out, I can show you. I just pressed the follower in and it stayed. That is not even close to all the way out. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me see. I have a flashlight on me, but it's tucked in there. So of course, if you don't know, and I don't have snap caps, I don't even have ammo on me right now. But once that last round gets sent into the barrel, this lip that sticks out, or is supposed to stick out, will trip your slide lock up, right? So it's going to be pressing this up. Now, when your gun cycles that last time, it's going to keep it open. If your follower, if the spring isn't enough, if it's staying in like that, it's never going to, it's just never going to lock open on empty. So if you want to fix that, and again, if you watch the dagger video I show, granted it was in the dagger, not the 17, but the gun is not the problem, it's the magazine. I showed that none of my magazines with extensions, now this one you can see is cleaned and upgraded. I put the Gen 5 followers in it, which also answers the question, do the Gen 5 followers fit Gen 3 mags? Yes, they do, flawlessly, okay? So now, she locks open again, same extension, and, well, I'll show you that there's yet another one with an extension, right? And the new follower. Put this down. Close that. Mag in. Locks open. Flawlessly, right? So, did I need those new followers? No, chances are I did not. The real thing is the inside of these magazines were absolutely filthy. If you've put enough, I've put tens of thousands of rounds through these magazines, specifically the 3 with the extensions. These are the oldest ones that I have. I believe I originally purchased these 3 magazines, of course, with no extensions on them, just, stock 17 magazine like that. I got those when I bought possibly my first Glock ever. It was a Gen 3 Glock 22 police trade-in that I got for a steal. And I put a 9mm conversion barrel into it, and I bought some actual 17 mags. And that gun had easily 10,000 rounds through it before I got rid of it and I bought an actual Glock 19. I kept my magazines. I sold it as a 22, so I even kept the conversion barrel. Lord knows what I did with that. I don't remember. It's been quite some time. But so I'm going to show you what I did, how I cleaned these out, clean the inside out, and I will, since this one I have not even opened yet, I'm going to show you how I'm going to show you on both, one with the stock bottom plate on it in case that's what you're running, and one with this type of extension. Like I said, there are different extensions and a lot of them, they attach in different manners. So I'm going to show you how I cleaned these, what I did, how I put the new follower in. I did give the springs a little tiny pull. I don't even think it made a difference. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that 99.9% of the problem was the actual housing itself. It's just filthy on the inside, and so my followers are sticking. Okay. Now look at that compared to this. You can see how much further up this is, and you see how smoothly it pushes out. This one is stuck in there. All right, so we'll get to it. Try and make this quick. I'm just gonna spray some bore cleaner in there just to kind of clear all that stuff out, and we'll put it right back together. All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera here on my little workbench, which is a disaster, and show you what I did to get these things working properly. All right, guys, here we go. This is what I'm using. Gun scrubber. This is what I use on my barrels and kind of hard to reach areas. This is brake cleaner for guns. All right, you spray it, it breaks up that carbon stuff really easily. I am not sponsored by anyone actually. I'm just letting you know what I use. I have used different brands and they all work pretty much the same in my opinion. All right, so let's just get right to it. I'm going to go and work on this one first since I've already showed you how bad this is, okay, and how it sticks. It's stuck in there. So this type is just a small Allen key that goes right in this hole right here. We're going to loosen that up just a bit. And then this pin comes out, and that's what keeps it from sliding. All right. So now the fun part is pushing this off with the tension of that spring on it. And I'm going to have to cover it because I don't want it to go shooting out. And it's caught in there. So let's see if I can press down on it and get this out like that. And now we're going to take my spring out. And it's got the follower attached to it. So I am replacing this follower today. This one will be Trashola with a Gen 5 orange one because I like it. Not for any actual useful purpose or reason. I just like it. Okay, I like the orange follower in there. Let's see how bad this one looks. Can't really see. Let's look with a flashlight. Let's see. Can you guys see how filthy this magazine is? Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to give it a spray, and I'm just going to put a little rag down here so it kind of soaks up most of what I spray out of it, and it doesn't just sit in this thing. All right, so here we go. All I'm going to do is simply spray in here. Now, clearly it's going to look super clean because it's wet, and we all know that that makes them look much cleaner. But let's see what we got. Not too shabby, I must say. Not too shabby. All right, we're going to run this rag through here. Let's go in the tighter end and see if we can get to it and pull it through. All right, so kind of use it like a boar snake here a little bit. Just clean up the magazine some. And of course, it's got some of the juice still on it, even though it, it evaporates and dries up very quickly. I'm still getting some of it in there. All right, I'm gonna say that's good enough. I got some fuzz in there. We'll get that out. That'll be easy, quick and easy. That's out. That's out. That's out. All right. So I'm gonna be happy with that. All right. That's good enough for what I'm doing here. So done with this guy. Now I'm gonna take this spring. Like I said, did it make a difference? I highly doubt it, but I gave it kind of a tug. I felt it kind of stay just slightly. Uh, Now this is absolutely overkill, and I know I'll catch flack for it, but believe me, it's not that bad. I'm gonna put a drop of rem oil on my fingers, and I'm just gonna rub the edge of it, just like that. Kind of wet the edge of it. You know what rubs on the inside, just a bit. Now I'm gonna drop this guy in, like so, and of course it flipped. When I didn't do it on camera, it was no issue. Now, of course, there we go. I had to take a break and grab my preferred alcoholic beverage because I was out. All right, so we're putting the spring in, and we're going to slip this guy back on, like so. This is the tough part, although it might be tougher to get it out than it is to put it in. Oh, I missed. I absolutely missed. Let's try it one more time. Come on. Come on. Extendo Springo. All right, let's see if we can get it. Thing is, you got to hold the spring, and then your thumb is in the way of putting the extension on. Okay, so there we go. It's seated. I heard it. So what I do is put this on, put the pin back in there, right? The thing is, the pin will run all the way through the back, as you can see. Boop. Right? So I like to start it, and I will get my Allen key in here, seated inside of this bolt. If it would land where it needed to, that would be phenomenal. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put it, now I'm off screen, and I guess I'll do it here, although it's got some give, but I just press it down until, let me show you on my scooch over. I'm going to press it down so it's nice and flat on the mat here. And then I'll tighten it up, or I'll snug it, I guess. We can just give it a nice snug. Check it. It's sticking out. Why? Because there's play in there's give in that mat, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and do it with my finger. All right, we'll just tighten it up like that. Don't have to kill this by any means. We'll test it. Ooh, that feels good. So now let's give it the old college try. Slam that mag in there, and ready. Thumb is off. That I got to show you because someone's going to be like, "Oh, you probably held a." Look at that. Magazine fixed, right? So once again, I'm going to say that the issue is probably how filthy they are. Of course, a little dab of that oil around the receiver, the follower, is going to help it slide around. How long that's going to be oily and not filthy, I don't know. We'll see. I don't mind anyhow. But there you have it. All right. Now, very quickly, if you're using one of these and you're having the same issue, it could be, more than one thing. Most of the time, I will see people trying to do 2 thumbs forward, and that's how you should be shooting. Of course, this is empty. Not that you guys can see, but it's empty. It's been checked, and I will click it off just so you're content, right? Knowing. Look at that. You can't make out the optic, but it's a 507. Actually, it's a 508T. It's the titanium housing, hollow sun. Anyway, Okay, let me see if this one has the issue. No, it does not. It does not. If what I was saying is that a lot of times you'll see people shooting, and you'll see that their thumb is actually on the slide lock, right? And as the gun cycles, they're pressing up on it. They don't realize it, and they end up locking their slide back, and they say it's the magazine. Well, it might not be the magazine. It might just be your thumb. So when I place my hands, see, this one sits, this hand, my left hand, sits beneath the slide lock lever, and this thumb rests on top of it. That way I don't have contact on that lever, right? So I never have that issue where I lock the slide unintentionally, and I certainly don't blame it on anything or anyone else. All right, let's make this look fancy with my little work flashlight too. All right, this, I'm sure you've taken your mag apart. If you have not, you have these. Damn, now I need my flashlight. Get the. All right, you've got those little tabs right there to deal with. Okay, you can overpower them, or you can try and pop this thing off. I've seen people do all kinds of stuff to get their magazines off. This camera's really not wanting to focus on this. Let's see. There it is. All right, so you see the little tab, you've got one on either side. Okay. I have this tool because I had a lot of mags. And what you do is this compresses that pin that's there, right? And you pull it. Bam. And it's out, right? Now you just got to finish pulling it. All I did was overpower those little tabs, but this gives you the leverage to do that. This came with like a Glock tool set. You know, it came with the front sight tool. It came with this doohickey, and it also brought just a regular Glock pin punch. I'm not going to take this apart. I have no problem with this magazine. I was just showing you how it's done. Of course, you can do it with anything. You can take a little Allen key. You can take anything that fits in that hole, press that in, and you can actually just move it so that it doesn't lock it back up. I'm going to close this before it goes nuts on me. All right. Well, let's see if I messed it up. Let's see if it still locks. It should. I almost knocked the camera over. Let's see. Yep. No problems. No problems there. All right. So that's how you do it to a regular magazine. Everything else would remain the same. The rest of the process would be identical. So we've answered, do Gen 3 Glock mags with extensions fit a dagger? Yes, even though the dagger did not make an appearance in the video. I showed you that Gen 5 followers most certainly fit Gen 3 mags and work fine in the gun. It also works in the dagger with the Gen 5 followers. And we went over how to disassemble your factory Glock magazine using an actual tool, but you can really figure out how to do that. It's really not complicated. It's going to take some more prying, some more muscle without the tool, but it'll come right off. So as always, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments or whatnot, hate mail, drop it in the comments below. And please subscribe if it helped you at all.